If fear is the only thing stopping us from achieving our dreams, and we only fear what we don't understand, then the antidote to fear is knowledge. All we have to do is find out who has the knowledge that we need to conquer our fears and achieve our entrepreneurial dreams. My name is Callum Walker, and welcome to the podcast that will help you figure it out and conquer this lonely entrepreneurial journey. Hello everyone, welcome to the podcast. It's one of those days, it's a bit muggy, he says in a jumper. Like, I looked outside and I was like, oh, it's going to be quite cold. So I stuck a jumper on, and it's just, like, it's like sweaty weather. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's really humid. I think it's because, like, it's rained for the first time in the past few weeks. So, yeah, it's the kind of weather where you get bit to shreds. Fortunately, I've got my protective gear on. So what a weekend, hey? What a weekend. Just had all of my guys on the elite coach come down. I say all of my guys. There was 12 in all. A few of the guys couldn't make it, which was sad. But yeah, what a weekend. And, you know, I briefly spoke about this on the last episode, but I was absolutely cooked. Yeah, it really, really was amazing. And really showed the power of, like, how important it is to be working with the people that you want to work with. It was interesting because on Monday, whenever I've done, like, a lot of speaking in the past, like, I've been absolutely battered afterwards, like, cooked, like, frazzled, fatigued, tired, and just, like, almost, like, beat up. And it was really interesting because I actually, like, Brandon and I spoke all day Saturday, I spoke all day Sunday, and on Monday, I genuinely was like, I was expecting to be, like, fried, but I was like, I could go again. Like, I genuinely, if they were still here, I could deliver a full day session all over again. And I asked my brother, I was like, why is that? Like, why do you think that is? And he goes, because you're with people who give you energy. Like, these people haven't taken your energy away from you. And that really got me thinking, because I was just like, I could have delivered the same 2-day event, but if I just changed one thing, which was the people in the audience, man, that would have been painful. Like, that would have been so painful. Like, I literally think back to, if I'd have had to do a 2-day seminar all on weight loss, fuck. Is that bad? I don't think it is, but I guess it just, like, you know, highlights to myself and within my gut that I'm like, I'm doing the right thing. And not the right thing from a validation point of view. It's like, oh, am I doing the right thing? Like, I'm doing the right thing for me and for my soul. Do you know what I mean? So that really got me thinking and got me feeling incredibly grateful and really reminded me of what my mission is. And I think, like, you know, that word mission can be thrown around, or it might not even, like, enter into your vocabulary of, like, what's your mission? But, like, you know, we kind of set on this path, and we're kind of, like, almost like, right, okay, you know, I'm doing this to, like, fundamentally make a living, yeah. But then there's always, like, this deeper sort of rooted thing. And I guess it doesn't become clear until, like, you're able to zoom out and actually, you know, view things. But I really realized what my mission is, which is to create a place for someone. To create a place for other people, like other young entrepreneurs who've got this thing inside of them, like tugging them towards something. You can't quite put your finger on it. Like, you're starting to see the world in a completely different way to everyone else, and you can feel incredibly lonely and constantly question yourself, doubt yourself. And I know that because that's how I used to feel. Like, I used to just constantly doubt myself. Look, I still doubt myself, but, like, that voice isn't as loud as it used to be. But, like, I was just so alone. I was just so alone for 5 years, like, constantly, like, thinking, like, you know, my favorite statement was always, nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. Nobody gets it. But, like, now people get it because I'm surrounded by these people. And I honestly, I felt really proud of myself. And I genuinely would say this is my proudest achievement in business, not from a financial point of view, but, like, I've created the thing that I wish that I desperately had, which is my community, my group of people where you know, the proudest moment that I had at the weekend was when I literally, as soon as I sat down, my lovely client, Sam, she turned up early, helped me set up, which was fabulous. And we sat there, and then 4 of them just like walked in. 4 of them walked in on their own. Not on their own, together, sorry. And I was like, oh, here they are. And they're like, oh, we're in the same hotel. We went for dinner last night. And they had like stories that like my client, John, bless him, he'd been like trying to sign someone up in the jacuzzi and all this sort of stuff. I was like, oh, this is amazing. And then they all went out for dinner on Saturday night, and they're all like, yeah, we're going to have conversations. And it was just like so lovely to feel like I've created a place for these amazing people who might question themselves consistently. So yeah, so it was really awesome. And I guess my question to you is like, what's your mission? What are you doing this all for? My hair's a mess today. I need it cut. Got to go see Suge. But yeah, so yeah, it was fabulous. Really, really great weekend. I'm working on something at the moment, and I spoke about this in depth actually over the weekend. But I really spoke heavily about like shifting your identity, that in order for change to happen, you've got to step into new shoes. So it's not necessarily what do you need to do, it's who do you need to become. And for me, you know, I'm really like trying to, and I was saying this a lot to the guys, like with a few of their programs. So one of my clients, like, he's awesome. He's put together this like online hub to optimize people's ability to level up their training and their nutrition using high rocks. And I ran through it all. He's like, what do you think? I was like, dude, like, it's so clearly set out. The information in there is spot on. So from a training program perspective and nutrition point of view, the works is awesome. But it's missing one key ingredient, like the seasoning. He was like, what is it? I said, it's you. I was like, there's no you in there. What's the thing that makes this like unique? What's the thing that people are going to buy into? Their connection with you. They can buy a plan to optimize their, like, you know, their high rock stuff from anywhere. Yeah, okay, it won't be as good as yours, but they can get that from anywhere, but they can't get it in the way that you deliver it. And it really, really got me thinking, because I was saying to a lot of my coaches, I was like, look, you've got to add the extra seasoning in there, which is the seasoning of you. Get that in your program, man. You know, like, that's got to be in there, because that's the thing that they're buying. And I've really gone like, right, okay, within my own program, I've got to make sure that I can like put my own seasoning and my own touch of Callum on there as much as I possibly can. Because like at the moment, it's awesome, but I've been bogged down in so many things that haven't allowed me to fully go, right, okay, how do I want this program to actually work? Like, what am I almost like obsessed with? Like, I'm obsessed with like Marvel comics, all this sort of stuff. So I've really been like, you know, I've mentioned this on a few episodes recently, but I've been like, this book by Dr. Benjamin Hardy called 10x is easier than 2x. Like, oh man, the clarity that I've got from this and the excitement I've got. They're basically saying that like that 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your actions. So, you know, that 80-20 principle is well known. But from a profit point of view, and not necessarily just solely being like profits from a financial perspective. I'm gonna have to merge these two together because I've just accidentally like slotted this off. But like profits from an execution perspective. So almost being that like, you know, that 80% of the beneficial profits in my company will come from 20% of the things that I do. And they're basically saying that you've got to like only do the things that only you can do. So like your own unique ability. What is my unique ability? Speaking, selling, and creating. Coming up with strategy. My 3 S's: strategy, speaking, and selling. Like that's what I'm uniquely good at. And I haven't been able to do those at the highest level because I've been so bogged down on the things that are actually massive weaknesses for me. So the more and more I've gone like, right, okay, actually I've got to build my own Avengers. You know, I've got to have my own Avengers. What makes the Avengers so great? The fact that they all each have a unique, different ability. Tony Stark's ability is very different to the Hulk's ability. Hulk's all about smashing, whereas Tony Stark is just like so methodical, and he'll like, you know, boom, boom, boom. Do you know what I mean? And I think where I'm coming from is that I'm like, right, okay, within my business, so many things need to happen. Finances, operations, sales, marketing, all of those sorts of things. And I'm Spider-Man, okay? I'm Spider-Man. I'm not going to be any other Avenger. But I'm Spider-Man. Spider-Man has his unique abilities. You know, I'm a bit cheeky. I can develop a relationship with someone. But what is Spider-Man? Spider-Man just causes a mess. Like, he causes an absolute mess everywhere and chaos. And I'm not very good at detail. So, you know, like, I look at what have been the things that bogged me down, my organization, like organizing my finances, all of that sort of stuff. I don't have clarity. I don't have systems, and I'm not good at that stuff. So I've spent so much time trying to improve my weaknesses versus actually just accepting, like, the Hulk can do things much better than Tony Stark can. So just let Tony Stark be Iron Man. Because at the moment, Tony Stark's trying to be like the Hulk and failing. And since I've been able to do that, it's just opened up so much excitement for me and so much creativity's arisen. Because like previously, I'd put so many limits on what I could do because I don't have the manpower. And it's interesting because, you know, I was talking to all of my coaches about this at the weekend. Be like, right, okay, what is your number one desire? What is the villain that is stopping you from achieving that desire? And what is the first step that you need to take? And I'm like, right, what is my desire? I want my 2 Comma Club award. I want to build my $1 million business. And I want to have 200 people on my program by this time next year. That can definitely be achieved. But what's the thing that's going to stop me? And what's the thing that has always limited my thinking towards it potentially happening? It's been manpower. Like, I know what to do, but I can't do it. Like, I can't execute it because I don't have the bandwidth and the space to be able to do it. So it's like, right, it's not that I don't know what to do. I just don't have the who can help me actually achieve it. And by achieve it, it's not more strategy I need, I need more implementation. So that, by operating from that level of thinking, it's allowed me to clarify what my next step is, which not necessarily just what I need to do, but who I need to become. And for me, I've got to become a leader. Like, that's my next identity shift. That's my next step. That's my 10x jump. I got to become a leader. And what does a leader do? Like, Tony Stark has people working for him. You know, Tony Stark has people who are able to ensure that his vision can come to fruition. So with me, I'm like, right, I need those people, and I've got to let go of my ego, which has always been, well, no one will be able to do the job better than me. Well, that's really stupid because I can't do it at the moment anyway. Even if I did have all of the bandwidth to be able to, like, do the job better than someone, I can't do that. So I've got to really step into the shoes of, right, okay, who can I bring on board to take the load off to free up more energy for me? And I'm really operating from this 20% and 80% mentality by going like, right, I just want to focus on the 20%, on my 20%, which is my unique ability. So all I do is focus on strategy, speaking, and selling. That's it. So my goal is to make sure that all I do is focus on strategy, speaking, and selling. Because if I do that, the business will thrive. So how do I do that? As soon as something starts to creep into my life, which isn't strategy, speaking, or selling, I've got to delegate that task to someone else to be able to ensure that they can do it, which frees up the time for me to think about the strategy, to then sell it, and then start speaking. So that's been incredibly liberating and exciting for me. So I'm stepping into new shoes, being a leader for my own team and a leader for my clients, but not even just my clients, for my movement and what my movement stands for. So it's incredibly exciting time. So I guess, like, you know, the thing I'd love you to maybe have a think about is like, right, you know, first of all, what is your 20%? What are the unique things that only you can do? And you'll know what they are because you feel like electric and you feel like it just comes so easily and you enter that state of flow, and it'll all have something in common. So that thing that gets you excited, like, that's what your 20% is. And then within your 80%, all of the things that need to get done, pass them over to someone else and start small. You might go, okay, that's great, but I haven't got $4 or $5 grand a month to be able to, like, fork out on a team. Okay, that's cool. That's fine. but just start small. Even if it's just like hiring a VA at $10 an hour, to just do like just do 2 half-hour sessions per week. That'll free up some time. That'll take something, out of what might be like you're in the 80% at the moment and just make it into 70%. And then it becomes 60, then 50, then 40, then 30, and then you're only operating in the 20. And I promise you, the more and more you can do that, the more free and liberated you become, and the more excited and enjoyable this whole process becomes. So I guess like, what I'd love you to really have a think about is like, right, okay, what tasks really, really like bog me down? What really bogged me down? And I'm just finding like I'm doing all of this crap that like I'm so wasted on. Because if you can identify those, you can pass them on. Just the freedom becomes like awesome. It's like, I'm like, right, I'm personally so disorganized, messy. I end up letting some of my friends down because like my diaries clash, and I don't know what my specific tasks are and all this sort of stuff, and I can almost like feel like can really like let me down. Do you know what I mean? But then like fortunately I've got this new assistant, Lily. She's just awesome, and I've like been able to pass these tasks on. And I literally just went, right, okay, I don't care about the task. I just want an outcome which is organize me so I know exactly what's going on. And we've got that sorted, and it's happening, and it's coming to fruition, which is amazing. So I'm just building out my Avengers team at the moment and sprinkling a little bit more Callum into my program. So anyway, I've got one more call of the day with one of my clients. Then I'm going to go for a run. I'm going to relax a bit, and then I'm working on building out my membership to an even higher level. It's basically ready to go now. The only thing we just got to do is I just got to put a few videos into the trainings into the program and just get the onboarding process. We're ready to go. So we've got 2 founder members at the moment. There's loads of different candidates as well who I can bring in. So the goal by the end of July is to have 15 founder members within the program. So, which is exciting, more than doable. 13 left. So anyway, have an amazing day. And I'm going to leave you with one thing. Never forget, every single one of your clients gave you just one new client. You've doubled your business. But are you giving them a good enough reason to recommend you? If the answer is no, speak to me. See you later.